Hello everyone, our group is composed of me, Andres Giraldo, Santiago Arias and Julian Galvis, and we are in charge of Dickens' novel, The Old Curiosity Shop. So to begin with, Charles Dickens was regarded as the greatest English novelist of the Victorian era. He was born in February the 7th, 1812, and he died in June the 9th, 1870. He was born to John Dickens and Elizabeth Dickens. When he was 12, his father went to Deptford prison, Massachusetts prison. In 1836, he marries Kathleen Hogarth, with whom he has 10 children. In 1840, he writes The Old Curiosity Shop. He went 2 times to the United States, one in 1842 and the other in 1867. Now, talking about The Old Curiosity Shop, it was first serialized in printed installments in 1840. These printed installments were chapters of the book that were published every month, so it generated kind of expectation in the
Okay, now we're gonna talk about the major characters of the novel, starting by Neil Train, who is the main character of the novel. She is an utterly good and spirit and angelic girl. She gives everything for his grandfather, and after losing everything in the shop, she tries to save her grandfather and lead him to a new land in Midlands in which they live as beggars.
I'm Santiago Arias, and I'm going to explain to you the plot story. So now we have the Old Curiosity Shop, that was the actual name of the shop, and we have our main character Neil, and we have Neil's grandfather. The Old Curiosity Shop was a fairly business. They have money, at least they can live with it, but his grandfather was a little bit nasty and he liked to gamble a lot. So, like, seriously, a lot. He started loaning money from this guy, like, who will loan money from this guy? Yeah, seriously. So, moving on, his father started gamble a lot more, so he started getting broke and adding Daniel Philp to the mix. He will end losing his job, and he will end getting away. So the main plot of the story is that Daniel Philp actually starts following them because, well, he was kind of in love with. And now we have Nell and her grandfather start going out all the land. It was England at the time. They were, and they run into these guys. A lot doesn't happen when they run up to these guys, but it was mainly okay. Then they encounter this drunk old lady. She was really fun actually. And finally the end of the story is really sad. So Nels got sick, like really, really, really sick, and she eventually dies. And her grandfather starts getting like crazy, and Daniel Hip actually kills himself, and that's the actual story. So hi, now I'm going to make a little review of the story. I think it was mainly a good book. How far people can go in their addictions, how far they can hurt others, and how far the guilt of having hurt another person can drive you crazy. And I think it portrays a little bit of the 1800s kind of read it, but I don't recommend it for everybody, just for people that are curious. And
Right now, the versions of the novel. There are several versions, including two by Thomas Bentley. The first one is The Old Curiosity Shop in 1914, and the second one is The Old Curiosity Shop in 1921. And there's an opera called Nelly in 1916 that was composed by Lamberto Landi. In, in 1944, Hay Petrie interprets the Quilip, and it's an adaptation. The novel was realized for television by British Broadcasting Corporation in 1916, and there is a British musical version of the novel. It's called Mr. Quilip in the United States in 1845, and in 1979 the BBC also did an adaptation, and then it was recovered into DVDs. And there are two adaptations, but the same company of BBC, but in radio, in 1990 and 1988, and it's the last adaptation of this production by BBC. It was in 2015.